Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys. And my camera's still not working, so we're just going to shove this down here. It's freedomthroughastrology.com. My name is Donald Patak. I am your astrologer. Here's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright. Just some keys to the reading because I do read astrology differently. I use constellation-based astrology, sometimes called true sidereal. It's astrology by the visible sky. Ask an astronomer where the planets are, and that's where I'm going to read them. Tropical astrology fixed the signs to the seasons the way they looked around almost 1800 or so years ago. The skies have changed. So I am reading astrology by astronomy. With that, in the zodiac belt or the ecliptic, there is actually an additional sign called Ophiuchus. That's the wounded healer. The symbol is of a person holding a snake by the head and the tail. In ancient times, the snake symbolized knowledge. So holding it by the head and tail, control and use of knowledge. And by the story, it's to heal himself, ideally heal himself, and then heal others with similar wounds. I use the natural size of the constellations. Some astrologers will make them all the same size. Mother Nature, in her wisdom, made them all different sizes. Virgo is huge, as we'll see this week, at just under 50 degrees. But Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, each one individually is less than 25. So all the constellations, different sizes. I let it go at that. And I use astrological midpoints. What does that mean? If you use the IAU boundaries and you really zoom in on the boundaries, what you'll see as, for example, between Scorpio and Ophiuchus, some of the stars from Scorpio are actually placed in the constellation of Ophiuchus, not where they belong. They belong in Scorpio. Athen Chimenti noted this, and he looked at and what he did was he came up with a way of ensuring that the stars are in the appropriate constellation. That's his midpoint system. I use it. I find it a little bit more accurate. Part two, how I personally interpret. I use evolutionary astrology. We're fated to face these transits, but they're lessons to learn, and you have freedom of choice. You can choose how you want to work with these lessons and what the planets are offering you. This is the weekly edition, so these are universal lessons. So have some compassion on your fellow Earth travelers. Some people are doing better with them than others. Dates are based on the Eastern U.S. time zone, as I am outside of Buffalo, New York. I am operating within 1 degree of exact because that makes the forecast manageable. If I actually used wider orb, I would feel overwhelmed and you'd likely feel lost. So that makes it manageable. And the software I'm using is Capricorn by Prometheus. And these are the weekly transits for the week of December 8th through 14th, which, in spite of what you see here, is incredibly busy. I will show you that on the next slide. The sun is actually in Ophiuchus only. It was in Scorpio last week. It changed actually last Saturday. So it's in my notes. I forgot to take that out. But the sun is in Ophiuchus, learning to heal your core identity. The moon is actually very stable this week. Begins on Monday in Cancer. It spends very late Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday into Thursday in Leo, and then late Thursday night Leo through the rest of the week in Virgo. So very relatively stable moon, so to speak. Only really, 3 signs. The last quarter moon is on December 11th. It is in Leo at, that got messed up. Why did that delete? Okay, I just got to fix this line real quick. For some reason, it deleted the wrong thing. At 7:01 p.m. or 19:01 military time, Eastern time, we have 3 sign changes this week. Mercury re-enters Scorpio, Venus is going to enter Ophiuchus, and Mars is going to enter Sagittarius. Our active planets of the week are Mercury, Venus, and Mars, sort of in that order. Jupiter and Uranus on the outer planets are slow movers. These are I sometimes call them power transits because these are our slow-moving planets and take a long time for us to learn the lessons. These are the deeper lessons of life. Sorry. Station direct. Neptune moves station direct this week, reducing our retrograde parade to Jupiter, Uranus, and Chiron. And one of my kittens is trying to play with me, so hold on a second. Come on here. Who is this? All right, come on my lap. Sit. My poor kittens caught the cold that I had, and they're all sniffling and sneezing and stuff. So they now want to bundle up on me and stay warm. So this is your kitten commercial. All right, there you go, buddy. All right. So this is the week in an overview. Get my doodle tool ready. Everything above this line is from last week. So we have very few transits from last week. We are dealing with the long Uranian transit here, and we do a little sign change here with the Neptune station direct. But as you can see, here we have a lot of transits to start with. We do have the last quarter moon on Thursday. 3 sign changes Thursday into Friday. So this midweek, late week, going to be fairly intense. If there's a pick days of the week, they're going to be really incredibly busy. I would say Wednesday into Thursday. Those 2 days are going to be power packed, especially because of all these sign changes. Mercury into Scorpio is on Friday, so you could say that's kind of the tail end of it all if you wanted for intensity. And then that just builds us into Saturday and Sunday. You clear all that out. But as you can see from the moon here, moon very stable. The moon is very stable with just Leo to Virgo, meaning next week is going to be quite busy. We do have Neptune station direct right here. That's our first big transit of the week. We do kind of end Monday off with the exception of the moon there. But as you can see, Mercury, we do have the tail end of this transit here, opposite, trining, sextiling, plus the sign change. Major theme of the week, Mercury with learning and communication, followed by Venus right here in a T-square to the nodes of the moon. Plus she moves into Ophiuchus, healing relationships. I'll delve deep into that shortly. And then as you can see, the rest of the transits for the week, outer planets, Jupiter and Neptune, and then the inner planets, Mars and Sun. Mars does have this hangover from last week or holdover from last week, so a little bit more influential there. Anything else I wanted to say on this? And just dealing with the base transits without looking at anything else, you really do get 2 phases. Tuesday through early Friday, and then late Friday through the rest of the week. So it is kind of 2 phases for the energy. And that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the most intense part of the week because of all the majority of the transits, the Venus in a T-square, plus the last quarter moon, 2 sign changes, quite the chunk of intensity. So let me close that out. All right, and okay, there we go. Thought I was going to sneeze. My voice is doing much better this week thanks to that cracker goop that I'm eating. It's an all-natural combination of a bunch of different herbs mixed together. Tastes great on crackers, scares viruses. Let's begin with this. We are still dealing with Uranus sextiling Neptune. Neptune's moving station direct during this. So you're looking at your authenticity and how is that creating an interest in your spirituality and finding that peace in who you are. How is that creating the interest or excitement in exploring your own spirituality? That's ideal. How's that helping you deepen your spiritual beliefs as well? The shadow here is you being someone that you are not, and how is that leading into being fake or trying to numb yourself to the pain and emptiness of life or escape this false persona that you've created? And living in the shadow here, being someone that you're not, leaves you feeling alone and isolated and lost. From last week, we do have Mercury in Libra trining Saturn. And this is part of a grand trine that was between Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. But Mercury and Libra are trining Saturn. How is examining things from different perspectives supporting your spiritual maturity and your growing in your spiritual maturity? Um, the shadow here, Mercury and Libra, getting lost and confused, indecisive, and that leads down a slippery slope to Saturn is deep cynicism, bitterness, and in Pisces, it's just a desire is just to escape, hide away, or numb the pain any way that you can. Um, yeah, being confused fuels cynicism and bitterness in life. And that ends on Monday, thankfully. And from last week as well, interesting. December 7th is on a Sunday this year, the same day as Pearl Harbor was originally when it happened. But we have Mars and Ophiuchus, the courage to heal. How is that strengthening your ability to mature spiritually? Um, and remember, squares are the purpose of a square is to challenge you and strengthen you. If you look at the pyramids, they're not built, everybody thinks they're strong because they're a triangle. No, they're built on perfect squares. Each of those blocks is fitted together in a perfect square. The square is a symbol of strength. So how is the courage to heal strengthening your spiritual maturity? The shadow here is a square becomes a stumbling block or a crushing burden. So falling into fear and refusing to heal or wounding others lead to crippling self-criticism, deep pessimism, and cynicism about life. And on Sunday, the moon enters Cancer. So this is a time to take a break and nurture and heal yourself. Learn to rest, pay attention to healers, those who can support you. Take some time for some emotional self-care. The shadow here is whining about life or becoming defensive. This can have you feeling alone and defensive. This can have you feeling alone and invisible. I mean, quite honestly, if you're taking swipes at people, no one's going to want to be around you. And this leads us into Monday. There's a lot to cover, so I really am not going to delve crazy like I normally do. But the moon in Leo, is to let go of being ashamed and let go of feeling ashamed and feeling vulnerable. Get up, stand out, be seen, and accept opportunities when they arise to be seen and appreciated by others. You got gifts and talents. Share them emotionally. Share, maybe learn how to share what you're feeling appropriately. The shadow here is playing up to the crowd and seeking cheap applause or settling for style over substance. That stiff upper lip is getting you nowhere. Tuesday, this is when the cascade begins. Neptune moving station direct in Pisces. Neptune is your sense of spirituality, your contact with the higher realms or higher self. So thank you for the notification. So be open to identifying to your higher self and higher powers. Become more aware of your deeper nature and who you are in that realm. And more conscious of your spiritual practices and mysticism. How do you practice spirituality? It's time to move forward and grow in that. The shadow is you're denying that higher nature or numbing yourself to those types of experiences. Also, be careful of trying to escape spiritual life or believe that you're more accomplished than you are. Neptune in Pisces, ideally, don't just don't just do something, be there, be present, be aware. The shadow is numbing yourself to the experiences of life. Also on Tuesday, we have Jupiter in retrograde in Gemini, squaring Chiron retrograde in Pisces. And so this is a time of reflection. The challenge here is reflecting. How is what you're learning supporting or strengthening your ability to heal and release wounds, or maybe understand your wounds on a deeper level so you can release them? The shadow here is Jupiter is a crisis of confidence, whether overconfident or underconfident, and this is in learning and communication. So how is this crisis of confidence becoming a crushing burden that leads to deeper wounding or denies you the ability to heal? And it is possible for you not only to wound yourself, but wound others. Also on Tuesday, Mercury in Libra is opposite Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So Mercury in Libra, being able to see things from different perspectives and analyze things from, there's, many people want the equation of 2 plus 2 equals what, where life is asking you the question x plus y equals 4. So that's what Libra is, or that's what Mercury in Libra is. Mercury is looking at information from different perspectives. And how is this, and reflect on that, how is that helping you to become more authentic in your identity and who you are, and more at peace with it as well? The shadow, being indecisive or lazy or even insincere, can throw you out of balance and have you being someone that you are not. And whether that's acting out and being this eccentric, crazy person, or selling out and going the lazy route and just trying to fit in, you're betraying who you really are and what you really know. Wednesday, we begin with Venus in Scorpio squaring the South Node in Leo. Venus in Scorpio, taking your relationships, creativity, etc. Venus is also having fun, rest, recreation, exploring that on a deeper level. And how is that strengthening your ability to see how you hold yourself down and back with what? South Node shows you how you hold yourself back, and it's always the shadow of the sign. How are you holding yourself back in your relationships, in your creativity, etc., with pointless, needless drama? Yeah. The shadow here, being slick and manipulative, playing dirty tricks or whatever. Yeah, dirty tricks especially. Can project a false self, ruins relationships, others' perceptions of you. Instead of instead of trying to escape the false drama, you're hyping it up, and it becomes a stumbling block and a crushing burden. This false self can potentially lead to your own ruin. In your ability to work with others, relate to others, or even in your creative self. Wednesday, we also have Mercury in Libra, and it will be moving into Scorpio by the end of the transit, trining Neptune. So analyzing, what you know and from different perspectives, and then being able to explore it more deeply. How is that able to support your spiritual growth and your spiritual presence and your ability to be present and be aware of what's really going on? The shadow here, being slick, manipulative, and then falling in. Oh, wait a minute, here we go. Being mentally lazy, lost, and losing perspective on what you know can lead to self-deception or the creator of a martyr complex, imaginary persecution. You're living basically you're living a lie. You're telling yourself this story and living a lie, and it's deceiving yourself and deceiving others. And we still have that opposition to Uranus, so it helps to feed, this all can help to feed and create a false self-image. And the other half of the T-square here, Venus in Scorpio squaring the North Node in Aquarius. We talked about that, exploring relationships and creativity more deeply. How's this strengthening your ability to fulfill your destiny and purpose and make it more authentic? How can deeper relationships help you fulfill your destiny and being able to understand that on a deeper level and make it personally your own? The shadow here, again, is that slick and manipulative nature or playing dirty tricks on others. Scorpio, I can see being cynical or bitter towards life. How is that undermining or weakening your ability to work on your destiny, and how is that doing that? How is that also leading you to misrepresent it and either turn it into something that it's not, or selling out and trying to be what other people are doing, what other people are trying to do? And here we have the T-square. Your authentic nature is balancing, is reflecting on how you hold yourself back with pointless drama. So your authentic purpose, seeing how it holds itself back with authentic drama. And when you're aware of all this, this is strengthening your ability to relate to others on a more deeper level, or be more creative on a deeper level, have greater fun, etc. I think we don't take, everybody says Venus is relationships, and in the reading that I'm doing with in Stephen Forrest books that I have, he does sort of bring up the fact that it is also creativity. Venus rules the arts. It is also about having fun and recreation. So yeah, so realizing your destiny, beware of how you hold yourself back with pointless drama. How is that strengthening your ability to relate to other people or your creativity? And Thursday, Venus enters Ophiuchus. Venus, relationships. How can relationships be healing, or how can you learn to heal relationships that have been wounded? Or therapeutic art, learning to heal your artistic ability, or how art can be a tool for healing. I actually have a former student does music therapy. It's really interesting. I should talk to her more about that. It's really, really wild how she uses it to help people heal wounds. The healing nature of art, also the healing nature of just being able to take a break and have fun. All those things, you know, those things kind of all lead to healing experiences. The shadow here, slipping into shallow relationships, being fake, shallow, superficial fun, or being focused way too much on it, results in deeper wounding and feeling more empty. And not only do you hurt yourself, you hurt other people as well. We do have the last quarter moon in Leo at 7:01. That's 17:01. That's 5:01. Is that 17 or 19? Oh man, did I mess that up? It is 17:01, which is 5:01 in the afternoon. I think I put 19 on that one slide. My bad. So, but what is this? This is the sun in Ophiuchus, healing your core identity. How is learning to express yourself appropriately strengthening your ability to heal your core identity? Because let's remember, it's the moon that's triggering the sun here. The moon is the fast mover. So as you learn to heal, to express yourself more appropriately, that can strengthen your core identity and help to heal it. The shadow here is that pointless, needless drama, playing to the crowd, being someone that you're not, does what? Becomes a crushing burden that actually leads to greater wounding of your core identity. It can also be a crushing burden on you, and this hurts yourself and it hurts other people as well. Also on Thursday, Mars, planet of courage and assertiveness, enters Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the archer, shoot an arrow out and see where it lands. So it's learning to have the courage to take risks and explore the world around you, and acknowledge that you do have the capabilities and skills to do more than you believe you can. So Sagittarius is saying, Mars in Sagittarius is having the courage to get up and go out and do in the world what you know that you can actually do. The shadow here, Mars falls into fear and is playing safe. And in Sagittarius, that becomes being stuck in a rut and bored with life, or making reckless decisions and a big catastrophe. Let's remember, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is like go big or go home. So it can be that fearful person who just doesn't want to try and risk anything and plays it too safe, or can it be that person that shoots way too far, way too hard, brags too much, and that creates a big mess. Whoops. And late Thursday night, the moon enters Virgo. Emotionally, you realize you need to improve some skills. Time to bone up on the emotional intelligence. Adopt a spirit of humility and open up and get help from others who can help you Grow and learn the skills that you need. Accept the responsibility. A big word for Virgo: responsibility. Yeah, it's about learning, it's about improvement, and accepting the responsibility of doing that. The shadow here is slipping into worry and a perfectionist attitude. I'll never be good enough. That type of an attitude, it can leave you feeling overwhelmed and unworthy. So this can actually be a horrible experience. And this is where the moon's going to be for the rest of the week. Tuxedo and Smokey, what are you two doing? The kittens are playing. Second kitten commercial. Friday begins the next phase. Actually, late Thursday night into Friday. Yeah, with that moon change, I would say that's actually probably the transit. We have Mercury in Libra, and it will be moving into Scorpio, sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. So being able to analyze information from different perspectives and then exploring it more deeply, how does this create an interest in doing the work of inner transformation and inner change? And it's facing those deeper parts of yourself. Oops, I just lost that. The shadow here is becoming mentally stuck and rigid, and this leaves you blinding yourself to the opportunities around you, and leading to you to getting caught up in a dark, cynical attitude, feeling that everything is impossible. And this can be a very deep, wounding situation for yourself. It's kind of a theme for the week. Is kind of an undercurrent theme of the week is this healing and transformation. Probably because we got a lot of stuff in Ophiuchus, which is about healing and transformation, but that second sort of Pluto feeling of just doing the work of transformation. And Friday, we have Mars in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. Uh, do note it enters on the 12th. There's a very early exact point, early in the morning on the 14th, and then it leaves on the 15th. That's so if you're looking at that exact and leaves, that's why I put that early in there, because the exact is very early in the morning. So Mars in Sagittarius, the courage to get up, go out and do something. And that's strengthening your ability to be present, strengthening your spiritual experiences. Yeah, I like that. And it can also help you see life from a higher and different perspective. So as you're having that courage to go out, yeah, courage to go out and be present. This shadow here is that crisis in confidence that leaves you stumbling blindly around and leaving you lost in a fantasy or trying to escape the mess that was made. So Mars in Sagittarius, that's that falling into fear, creating a crisis of confidence, and that becomes the stumbling block that has you wanting to escape life or numb yourself to the pain of life. That's the shadow of Neptune in Pisces. Friday, we do have Mercury entering Scorpio, and this, I always say when you're entering Scorpio, it's like Toto pulling the curtains off in Oz. You're taking with Mercury, it's deeper learning, deeper communication, and exploring that more deeply. And in Scorpio as well, I have this in my notes, the taboo topics. What are those things that we don't quite talk about in polite society? Well, it's okay to, that right now that's the time to explore them and discuss them appropriate times with the appropriate people. Um, be prepared to communicate on a deeper level as well. And this is also deep thinking. It can open up to honest communication and help you face deep truths about yourself and what you know. The shadow here is being too narrowly focused and blinding yourself to what's out just outside of that range of vision. Um, I've talked to people who use AI to give them summary of articles, and I'm just going to use this as an example. That article summary is always going to be basically the same because it's the standard interpretation. I was working with someone and they did that and they couldn't understand why their projects were being turned down. And I had them actually read the article by themselves, no AI or anything. And they just read through and I said, circle or underline, highlight, whatever you personally find interesting. because AI didn't think it was relevant. When they were reading it, they were saying, oh my God, this is phenomenal. They did that with all the articles. Their project got approved. So with Mercury in Scorpio, you're literally blinding yourself to wonder by becoming too narrowly focused on who knows what. Also, be careful. This is where, when I say words can wound, this is one of the places where words can really wound. Um, and be careful of speaking deep truths to people that they may not be ready or able to hear at this moment in time. You know, you can't say the right thing the wrong way. And that's kind of the lesson here. Saturday, Sun in Ophiuchus is trining Chiron. Chiron is the co-ruler of Ophiuchus. So this is really going to be can be a powerful experience. But this is how is healing your core identity, helping you to understand those wounds on a deeper level and help you see them, understand them, and release them and rise above them. And it can also help you understand the healing journey and its purpose better. This shadow here is refusing to heal refusing to work through the healing process or wounding others can lead to deeper inner wounding, a desire to escape, numb the pain, play the false martyr as well. That can show up. I can very easily see that. And this can really result in a lot of pain. And on Sunday, take a breath. Remember to exhale. Repeat. So I kind of rushed through that, but there was a lot in there, and I wanted to kind of keep keep it manageable for time. So do follow me on Facebook, Instagram, where I do daily deep dives and I explore some of these more deeply. I also post that on my blog page on my website. On YouTube, I do these videos. Do follow me on YouTube and like. I'm also in the digital soul space. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they're making billions of dollars off your data. Digital soul space is hosted on the mighty networks. Privacy and your data, you have control over how your data is used and what's linked to you. There are 4 moderators. It's a troll-free zone. We know all about the bullying that happens on the internet. 4 great monitors. Keep it clean, keep it safe. And there's a lot of there's a free version, which is you limit access to some parts of it. And then there's the full, which is $1.99 a month. That money goes to help maintain the site and keep it hosted. And there's all sorts of incredible pages. I do astrology, but there's also crystals, tarot, oracle decks, various spiritual traditions. I can't even list them all, but we get a wide variety of different spiritual traditions. What else is on there? Mediumship, just a lot of different incredible things, opportunities to socialize. You can ask a question and people will share what they know. It's an amazing space to hang out with. I do readings and offer packages. If you want to see how your chart changes from tropical to true sidereal, Quick 6 is the best way to go. Your birth chart or your natal chart, that's your birth contract to help you understand who you came here to become. Your karmic or past life reading, if you notice patterns repeating in your life, you want to know why and how to release them, the karmic or past life reading will help you understand what the pattern is and then how you can heal it and let it go. I also do horoscopes for you any 1 year, which is any 12 months, any 3 months in a row, or 1 month. And 1 month can be new moon to new moon or first of the month to the last of the month. And I do have packages that combine these at different levels, and there's a discount built in. So thank you very much for watching this. Do like, follow, and share. Sign up for the newsletter when you go on my website. It's just a pop-up. All I need is an email. You get a once-a-week newsletter from me. Newsletter does carry some additional insights, and also any sort of discount will be given through that. So it's newsletter, people get a special discount. So like, follow, share. Thank you very much. And remember, in the visible sky, your life changes. Have the best week possible. Thank you very much for watching this. Oops.